Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Vic, aka Mr. Glass. And as you guys know, it is the information explosion on NBA 2K24, man. So I'm going to break it down with you guys. We're not going to show you any of the trailers and stuff because this is going to be on YouTube, and I believe the trailers have sound. I mean, I can mute it. Oh, that's not. Everybody's going to show you the trailers and stuff. I'm going to break down the news, alright? So, the next generation of groundbreaking realism and authenticity arrives in NBA 2K24 on next gen, both PlayStation and Xbox. So, what is the difference? We're going to have a lot of stuff going on with Pro Play. It's going to affect dribbling, rebounding, blocks, passes, everything. We're going to be green or miss again, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Every aspect of the game receives an added layer of realism that's visible in every movement and interaction. Here are some of the new animations for next gen powered by ProPlay. Jumpers, dunks, layups, dribble moves, pass animations, signature movement, offense, and defense, which is going to be amazing. While the primary actions certainly benefit from the ultra realistic tech, they aren't the only areas you'll notice casual inbound passes, otherwise unremarkable motions that aren't a priority during mocap have now been scanned to cover even the most minute details. Very interesting. Shot timing. There are a lot of guys that are wanting this. Players who play Hall of Fame, difficulty, or in the rec or city will be playing with green or miss shot timing for the ultimate challenge. But team controlled based modes. Quick play. My NBA. My team. We'll see more forgiving shot timing. So you have to memorize every single player's release to the exact frame to be successful. The shot timing release time settings from NBA 2K23 have been converted to a new saying called shot timing visual cue. Now, instead of shot time based, you can set your desired release point based on certain animation cues like jumper or set point on shot release. That is extremely interesting. And this is something that can help a lot of people learn how to shoot quickly. Because if you're looking for your player to do a specific motion, as the game is going to illustrate to you now probably, you'll have a much higher chance to green. So I like that feature right there. Layup timing is now on by default and has been redesigned to be much more forgiving for easier finishes at the rim, while also rewarding players who master it. With the ability to finish tough circus layups in traffic, you'll also find that advanced layups like floaters, reverses, euros, hop steps, and scoops are much more effective this year and great tools to have as a slasher. I'm really liking that because I think the hop step, I like to play as a slasher, guys. It's no secret there. So the hop step being good in the game is going to be very key, I think, for a lot of people, including myself. Dunking. This is the one thing I did not like about this, and I'll explain after I'm done reading it. For dunkers on next gen, you can now force controllable rim hangs for any two-hand dunk by simply keeping the sprint trigger held when the dunker grabs the rim. So you don't have to hold down on the stick anymore. Down on the pro stick will give you flashy dunks to get the crowd hyped, which makes me think that Showtime as a badge or something similar to it might be back in the game, which would be amazing. Because as the primary ball handler, if you're dunking the ball with any regularity, to be able to get a really big animation to hype up your team could be the key to victory in a lot of ways. So keep an eye on that. But here's the part that I didn't like. Up, down, up, double throws will let you attempt contact dunks in traffic with the dunk meter. Meter dunks are green or miss on higher difficulties. Now you have to be precise to finish off the play. I'm going to explain to you guys why that's a terrible idea for 2K, and I hope they reconsider this. When you are instituting something like crossplay, and as much as 2K has been about latency for the most part of its career as a game, having to green a dunk is going to make way more people miss dunks than they should. And what I think should be the case is I think 2K should go back to the old style of non-meter contact dunks. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you remember, the contact dunks from yesteryear were all about if the dude was late getting to the spot, you'd be able to bang on him. This year, it's if you're hanging under the rim and you're waiting for the dude to come up, they have an opportunity to literally poster you. There ain't that many people in the history of basketball that have that ability to just jump over somebody and dunk the ball over them. There's a few. But my point to you guys is that I believe that what should happen is we should be back to the old system because it doesn't require latency, but instead requires a little bit of thought by the dunker when it comes to, okay, I don't think I can attack at this angle because dude is already there, so we're going to retreat or we're going to go for a midi or we're going to go for a floater or whatever it is that we're going to do. But that was a choice back then on how you attack the rim. Now it's pretty much meter dunk, and if you're good at timing it, it's going to go in. So I don't think that's a great idea. Let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree. Paint play, I mean, a lot of things are going to be different. There's going to be post fades, hop shots. They're more effective this year. Strength matters, weight matters. I'm looking forward to seeing big men back in the NBA 2K landscape. But again, nothing beats speed, right? So nothing beats speed, and it's going to be hard to get guys to really understand, like, oh, you can have a big advantage on rebounding, and you can, play more offensively as a big if you have weight and do things. Nobody's going to care. They just want to grab boards, set screens, and run at the rim for contact dunks. That's pretty much the style of play that most people have, and I don't know if this is going to address that. So we'll see. Pick and pop is also a big thing, especially if shooting is a bit easier than it was last year with the weird timings and things like that, which they say they've addressed. Okay, so dribble breakdown. Shooting has been customized and improved for all the various modes, difficulties, and player skill levels. But in order to get high percentage shots, you need to know how to create separation with your dribbling. That's never been a problem for me. I know a lot of guys probably struggled with that this year, learning how to get open. I think that's kind of something that you got to just work on and figure out. But this year, Mike Wang's favorite element in NBA 2K24 are dribble breakdowns. Each player has two versions. Regular, by flicking the stick up with the right analog stick, and aggressive, by flicking it up with the right analog stick and holding sprint. This will initiate a sequence of signature size-up moves that you can use to create separation with on their own or branch out at any time for an explosive drive or other dribble moves. So, I like the idea that there's explosive moves in the game. I do. I also like the fact that there's an emphasis on defense being able to bump you now, which is kind of key. I believe that we should be able to be bumpy on defense if that's what we're trying to do. This year's dribble system features more dribble combos, including signature double crosses. That's very interesting. I like the way that sounds. And hesitation crosses. That sounds really fun to play with. I feel like I could cross some people up. Uncle Demi was tweeting on Twitter that ankle breakers are back. And if that's the case, expect some TikToks and some YouTube shorts from your boy. That's all I'm going to say. A lot of you guys are really interested in the adrenaline boosts. Let's look at that. Adrenaline boosts are back, but have been redesigned to make both offense and defense more engaging at the same time. On offense, boosts are no longer lost when pulling off dribble combos or moving short distances, giving elite ball handlers much more freedom to create off the bounce, but boosts will disappear anytime the on-ball defender can bump the ball handler on a drive attempt. The cost of losing adrenaline is different this year as well. Instead of dramatically slowing the ball handler's movement, losing adrenaline will now heavily impact the shooting attributes. So if a good defender can clamp the ball handler down, bump them 2 or 3 times in a single possession, they'll have a really tough time shooting, scoring if they can manage to get free. Unless they can manage to get free. Oh wait, no, it does say they'll have a really tough time scoring if they can manage to get free at all. Okay, I see what they're. Okay, that's me. I misread that. So that's interesting. So basically, if you get bumpy on defense and you're able to slow down the ball handler, then you're gonna have an opportunity to really get a stop, which is great. I also think maybe it's gonna incentivize multiple ball handlers, which a lot of guys, a lot of stage has that sort of thing. They're not gonna like that, but I think it may actually be better for the game. Because I don't think you want to have a dude that just sits in the corner the whole time and never gets to touch the ball. I think in a scenario where obviously the main ball handler is clamped, you want to have an opportunity to pass the ball and get a different guy to dribble, maybe an easier defender, that kind of thing. I think that's a big part of the game, and it should be. Creating your own shot off the dribble isn't the only way to get good shots in the game of basketball. Knowing how to operate away from the ball is just as important. 2K24 features an in-depth off-ball offensive controls to perform right analog stick jukes and other quick explosive moves to free yourself up for a shot or a cut to the basket. I think this is going to be used in a lot of backdoor scenarios to get dudes off of you. You know what I mean? Like a little swim move or something. And it's going to be very interesting to see if people can get used to that and attack the rim that way. I'm very curious. These will give players a huge burst of speed to find open shots on the floor for spot up shots or easy rim runs for dunks or layups. It's good. Takeover is going to be really different. I'm not going to talk about a lot of the defensive stuff right now, but there is a lot of weight put on defense. You're going to see a lot of guys trying to bump you now, I think, in this new game. And if they can get those bumps, yeah. NBA 2K24 features revamped contest logic that puts a greater weight on body positioning compared to previous years. The new system addresses the ghost contest issues in past games and makes the coverage scores line up much closer to what gamers will expect. Blocking requires more skill this year also. It's important to read the offense and wait for the correct time and opportunity to attempt blocks. If you're behind the shooter, jumping too early, biting on fakes, or out of positions attempting a late closeout, you'll quickly find yourself racking up fouls or giving shooters an and one opportunity. That's interesting. That's interesting. Alright, so Takeover has been buffed, but it's different. And the one thing that I'm really going to talk about is this. Physicals. So now there is a takeover that's going to boost your speed, excel, strength, all that stuff. That is extremely interesting. I'm very confused by this. With Mamba Mentality, though, you'll still be able to get takeover to affect all of your stats. So I wonder if they're saying that physicals is its own takeover, or are they saying that it's not going to be like its own thing, but that certain one of these, finishing, shooting, playmaking, defensive, rebounding, will those affect your physicals in a different way? Because it goes on to say, activating one of these categories will boost all your ratings in that specific category. So I think it does mean physicals is going to be its own thing. So that's interesting. You're going to want to get Mamba Mentality, though, I think, to get Double Takeover back, because especially if we're able to get, quicker takeovers, that sort of thing, it's going to be very interesting to have everything lit up. Like, that's going to be great. Which allows you to select 2 different categories, ratings to boost. Finally, when you unlock Mamba Mentality, activating Double Takeover will boost all of your attribute categories, making you a true beast on both ends of the floor. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's going to be huge. I'm not going to talk about the freelance thing. I'm not going to talk about subs, because we're not my league guys here. We might be one day, but right now we're not. We're parked, stage, rec, pro-am, that kind of thing. That's what we do here on this channel. But basically, I'm gonna quickly recap this for you. Freelance controls means that by default, everybody's gonna be 5 and out when it comes to AIs. Um, and so you'll be able to send cuts and things like that from any position, which is good. Substitutions are kind of like a my league thing. AI would tend to sub all 5 players out of the system. Yeah, I mean, that's good that they kind of checked it, but I do all my subs if I'm playing my league. I'm gonna do all my subs myself, so I don't really think that's an ideal, thing anyway. But listen, guys, this has been my news recap for all things 2K. I hope you guys dug it. All love to you guys, man. I will be back anytime there's news. This video is gonna go up as soon as I'm done recording it. Hope you guys are ready for way more NBA 2K coverage. Obviously, 2K is my main game. We're gonna have a lot of Madden stuff as well, but 2K is my bread and butter here. And I'm not gonna forget that. You'll be seeing all types of coverage from 2K all year, and Madden as well. So don't break nothing, guys. I'm out.